I'm Daniella Clark and I'm going to be sharing my testimonies today. I'm just going to jump straight into it. So, growing up, I was very adventurous, but I wasn't one of those. I'd never wanted to smoke, I never wanted to drink, I never wanted to be a girl to like give myself away to boys or anything like that. But from a very young age, my mum had a friend, and my mum's friend was called Pelly, and he became, as my mum got older and had kids, he became like an uncle towards us because he was just always there for us when we needed him. And he was a Christian man, and he tried to influence us to go to church. And I wanted to be a Christian. I wanted to live for God. But at the age of 14, I started smoking weed just because that was what was around me. That was what I was used to. And I thought, well, I might as well fit in. I might as well just do it, go for it. But and then after I started to go partying, after I started making music, my life just went downhill from there, to be honest, because I was opening so many doors from after smoking weed. Started dressing up inappropriate for a young girl, started going out and just disobeying my mum more and more, and it was like I was opening more and more doors to destruction in my life, really. And one night I had a dream that I was with Uncle Pele, and we was on a roof just looking out at the sky, because he always used to speak to me and influence me and encourage me to do what is right. And so we were speaking, and then all of a sudden these bombs just came from the sky, and as they was falling, Pele literally went up. It was a bit like a sort of like a rapture, but it was like the end of the world was actually going to be bombs and stuff like that. And so that really spoke to my heart. Like, I wouldn't want to be left. If, say, Jesus was to come today, I wouldn't want to be left. But it's easier said than done, because I carried on living the life I was living, and then at the age of 16 I became pregnant, and so I told my sister that I was pregnant, because in my mind it was such a tragedy that I was pregnant, because the person I was pregnant for, he had a baby with another woman, and he was very confused about what he wanted, whether he wanted to be with me or whether he wanted to be with her. So that really like hurt my heart and destroyed me inside, made me feel like I wasn't worth anything or anyone's time, or wasn't anything good enough. And so I told my sister that I was pregnant like a couple of days after I found out, and in my head it was just such a tragedy, and she said to me, "Congratulations, Daniella, that's amazing." So that really spoke to my heart, because like, how could she see so much goodness out of what was happening to me? I wasn't going college, because I just left school at the time. I was 16. I wasn't going college. I was more focused on smoking weed and the boy I was with. And she said, "Congratulations, that's amazing, Daniela, that's amazing." And so I wanted that. I wanted that optimism, that way of seeing, because I know that my sister's had so much done to her, and she is a born-again Christian now, and she was a born-again Christian when I saw her in town. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to start going to church with her, because I want that outlook on life. My outlook on life was just terrible. My outlook on life was like me thinking that I'll always be lazy, I'll always be late to everything, I'll never be good enough, I'll always be second best, I'll never look the way I want to look, and just so many thoughts was just rushing through my mind, causing me to be pessimistic. And so I started going to church with her, and I slowly started to back away from everything that was going on in my life, all the ungodliness that was going on in my life, because we can't just jump out of it. Well, in my aspect, I couldn't just jump out of it. It was a slow process of me feeling more and more convicted by the Holy Spirit, me opening doors to the Lord and shutting doors to the devil, shutting doors to my old life. And it was a lot of sacrificing, but never in my life, after giving my life to the Lord, never in my life have I overcome so much. Never in my life have I realised that, you know what, that is not who I am. I am not meant to smoke weed. I didn't even give myself a chance to grow properly. I just jumped straight into the smoking weed, to the going party, drinking alcohol at 14. I didn't give myself a chance to properly process my growth and experience what it is to be a young girl, really. I just jumped into the adult life. And I realised after getting saved, it opened my eyes to so much. I realised I don't have to be late for everything. I started showing up on time for sermons. I started to socialise with people more because I was just in a box. I was in a cage. When I was smoking weed, sat in my room, just dwelling on everything, I was in a cage, and I put myself in that cage. And I remember when I was starting to stop smoking weed, I said, instead of smoking, I'm going to read the word more. I'm going to read the Bible more. And so I started reading the Bible, and I remember reading in John, those who sin are a slave to sin. And that touched my heart so much, because you really are enslaved in it. And my daughter is now 1 year old. She's just such a blessing. So many people prayed for me. So many people helped me through this process that I had to go through. Basically, a lot of the struggles I had with her dad. But it's been such an amazing journey, and I would encourage anyone just to realise who you are through the Lord, because how can we know ourselves if we do not know who has created us? Thank you for listening. God bless.